Ladies and gentlemen, I do welcome you all back to Dragon Age Origins. Before we do anything else, I wanted to thank my good friend Dan Squeen for telling me about an item, a very important item that I apparently missed. Olaf's chest here. I guess we found Olaf's key somewhere. Don't really remember where, but he's got a very important item in here. Olaf's prized cheese knife. Not a bad knife indeed. Doesn't really have a whole lot going for it by default, but it's got room for a couple runes. I'd say it's a little bit better than the Thorn of the Dead Gods. Looks pretty basic. But I won't turn down a good cheese knife. Anyway, so thank you again for that. Let's see. Where shall we go from here? Well, first off, we do kind of need to make a quick trip back to camp. Have a word with everybody. And kind of sleep off our wounds a little bit. Alright, doggy.
You are a true warrior and worthy of respect.
Well, that was entertaining. Alright, Alistair, do you have anything new to tell us?
What do you need? Ask away.
So how did you become a Grey Warden?
Same way you did. You drink some blood, you choke on it, and pass out. You haven't forgotten already, have you?
I meant before that.
Let's see, I was in the Chantry before. I trained for many years to become a Templar, in fact. That's where I learned most of my skills.
Don't seem like the religious sort.
You're telling me I was banished to the kitchens to scour the pots more times than I can count. And that's a lot. I can count pretty high.
Sure you
Grand
can.
Cleric didn't want to let me go. Duncan was forced to conscript me, actually, and was she ever furious when he did? I thought she was going to have us both arrested. I was lucky.
You think this is better than being a Templar?
Oh, I suppose the Chantry life is good enough for some. Here, we have the chance to fight against...
Whoops.
Do some good instead of sitting in a temple somewhere. I'll always be thankful to Duncan for recruiting me. If it hadn't been for him, you know, I wouldn't have.
He was a good man.
He was. A good man who didn't deserve his fate. That much I'm sure of. Come on, let's go. I think I'm done talking.
Well, we got a slight bit of approval from him, nothing too serious. Guess we'll talk with a new guy.
Here I am.
Care to answer some questions?
Oh, this should be good. Go ahead.
What does it take to become an assassin?
Well, the Crows would have you believe that it is an involved process that takes years of training. The sort that tests both your resolve and your endurance. Survive that process and maybe, just maybe, you're good enough to start being considered one of them. But quite frankly, the truth is that all it requires is a desire to kill people for a living. It's surprising how well one can do in such a field.
Doesn't take any special skill?
I don't know about that. It's simply a slightly different skill set from your average killer as I see it. An assassin simply specializes in striking from stealth, and in maximizing that first attack to be as lethal as possible. Debilitate your foe, either by poison or by crippling their limbs, makes any follow-up combat you need to engage in that much simpler.
This sounds like it could be quite useful.
See? Getting paid for the act is beside the point. An assassin is more a tactical choice than a lifestyle. Of course, the Crows like to pretend that their abilities are trade secrets, shrouded in shadows and wrapped in a blanket of mystery. So let's just keep this between you and me, shall we? Here I am.
God damn it. Want to discuss something more personal.
Oh, this should be good. What would you like to discuss?
Oh, apparently nothing. Alright, so I guess we'll have more to discuss with him a bit later. Liliana probably doesn't have anything more.
Yes. Well, here I am.
You were a traveling minstrel. Do you have any tales to share?
Of course I do. I love stories far too much to keep them to myself. Everyone should be able to benefit from them, I think.
Know any stories from Orlais?
Of course, Orlesians enjoy telling stories. I shall tell you my favorite tale of Aveline, the Knight of Orlais.
This sounds interesting.
A long time ago, a girl child was born to a farmer. He had hoped for a son, not a daughter, and so he told his wife to abandon the child in the woods. Before the cold could claim her, the baby was found by a tribe of Dalish elves who took pity on the poor mewling thing and raised her as their own. Aveline, for that is what they called her, grew strong and quick and clever under the guidance of the elves. She learned to wield the sword as well as any man, could kill a deer with an arrow at 100 paces, and was as graceful on the back of a horse as she was on foot.
Continue.
Aveline's Dalish guardians saw that she could easily best any Orlesian chevalier in battle, and wanted to show the cruel humans the child they had left to die. They bestowed upon her a fine horse and armor, and sent her to prove herself to her people in the grand tourney. Now in those days, no woman was allowed to take up arms, let alone compete in the grand tourney, but Aveline kept her helmet on and was not discovered.
Did she win?
Aveline won many events and gained the approval of the adoring crowd. Eventually, she came face to face with the knight Kaleva in the grand melee. Aveline had already bested him in the joust, and Kaleva was determined not to lose a second time. Out of desperation to regain his honor, Kaleva tripped Aveline and tossed her to the ground, ripping off her helmet as he did so. Silence fell upon the arena as Aveline was revealed. Kaleva declared the previous competitions invalid. A woman had taken part, and this was not allowed. But the crowd cheered for Aveline. Kaleva was furious, for he had lost to a woman and was now being shamed. Blinded by his rage, he forced Aveline to her knees. "Know your place, woman," cried he, and slit her throat.
Well, damn, that escalated quickly. I was hoping for a happy ending.
The son of the king, Prince Freyan, was present. He recognized Aveline's skill and bravery and began to see the injustice done to the women in his land. When he was made king, he rewrote the laws of Orlais so that women could also become chevalier. He honored Aveline and knighted her after her death. And to this day, any female who is knighted reveres Aveline the Brave, for she is the patron of all women chevalier.
Well, it's good to know that some sort of good came out of that tragedy. Tell me about Darkspawn.
Chantry lore says it is man's pride that created the Darkspawn. In ages past, the mages of the Tevinder Imperium ruled much of the world we know. In their pride, they thought their magics invincible and imagined that they were greater than the Maker himself. So thinking,
Blasphemy!
They invaded his golden city, planning to take it for themselves and depose their own creator. But they were impure and full of sin. And it is with the sin that they tainted the golden city, corrupting it forever. The Maker cursed them and cast them from his sight. Wherever they went, they spread the taint of their sin. Any land that was touched by the taint became blighted and would suffer no life. Instead, the Darkspawn arose to torment us and remind us of our hubris.
Well, that's certainly a lesson that we can all take to heart, I think. I got her approval a little bit, but doesn't seem like there's really a whole lot I can get from her right now. Sten is a fickle beast, so let's approach him with a bit more caution.
Yes.
I wanted to discuss something you mentioned.
Speak, then.
You said something earlier about mages.
We have no mages such as you do. We have beasts in the shape of men who perform tricks.
Why don't you have mages?
We have mages, we simply don't have the sort you do.
What sort do you have?
Our mages are controlled to do less harm than yours. They have their tongues cut out and are kept in pens.
Why have magic at all if it's so evil?
We live in the world and magic is part of it. One might as well reject the sky. Parshera, are we going to fight the Darkspawn or chatter until they grow bored and leave?
I had another question.
Very well.
What do you mean your mages are beasts?
I misspoke. They are not beasts. Beasts learn eventually.
What's so terrible about magic?
Mages? Is there some reason you insist upon discussing this?
It's a subject of concern to me. Is that right? Because you're wrong.
You have shown me the error of my ways. Now may we move on?
I'm serious.
Prove me wrong then. Words will not change me. There is no use talking of this. We should move
Well,
on.
you didn't even give me a chance, you fucker.
As you wish.
What an asshole. I'm trying that again. That's hardly fair.
Life is fair. Is there some reason you insist upon discussing this?
It's a subject of concern to me.
You live in this world just as I do. You already know what magic is.
And what is magic?
A sword with no hilt. There is no use talking of this. We should move on. As you wish.
Oh, whatever. Whoa! What? Oh my god. I have no idea how to figure this fucking dude out. I guess we'll talk with Shale. What's with the heavy sighs?
Oh, that. Merely reflecting on the hopeless nature of the task in front of it. The most likely outcome is that it and its companions will become a stain on some rock for the Darkspawn to tread upon. I shall be moved to a single tear by the tragedy.
There's a whole lot of satire built into this construct, isn't there? Won't we be right next to your stain?
I think not. I am made of pure rock, skin to core. At best, I can become a pile of dust, but a smear I will definitely not leave behind. That's for softer, squishier things like itself and its friends. What's that? Did it hear flapping wings? There may be pigeons nearby. We should be alert.
Wow, okay, fuck you too. Alright, well, you are just as dense and fickle as Sten, so let's see if we can figure you out. You're still with me, I see.
Yes, its adventures are interesting, even if the chances for success are remarkably slim. It would be better to throw oneself off a cliff, I suspect. Does it wish me to leave? I can, though I see no reason to go.
Don't go, I happen to need you.
Refreshing. Normally, such words would be accompanied by the wave of a control rod. I shall remain as it asks. Perhaps we should continue. Its chances of success are small enough without further dawdling.
Alright, well, we got nothing out of you. I guess we'll worry about you later.
If there's anything I can...
Before we even bother, let's do some enchantment. We need, this cheese knife. This will add some frost. Actually, I can get the runes off of this, I remember. I don't really see how this Dweomer rune is going to be a whole lot of help, but we'll try it for a while, I suppose.
If there's anyone...
Have you encountered many abominations, apart from the ones in the Circle Tower?
Well, I've heard many stories.
You are younger than I, and your nerves yet have some steel in them. Did you feel any fear facing the abominations?
Mostly of being exploded. I knew I could not falter, though.
The first time I saw an abomination, my blood turned to ice. It was months before the nightmares stopped. It was the knowledge that I could easily become one of them that frightened me the most.
What is this knowledge that drives you to be cautious?
One slip. All it takes is one slip, and everything you are is simply gone. Replaced by madness. And there is no turning back. Or at least that's what they say.
You have doubts?
Of late, I have begun to wonder if there is any way an abomination can be cured. Or if a mage could be so possessed and still retain their sanity, their humanity.
One retains one's humanity, one is not an abomination, I suppose.
Yes, it is madness and cruelty that define abominations. If those are lacking, if the mage remembers the person they truly are, then they are not an abomination. I never saw that. Thank you for showing me another way of looking at it.
My pleasure. I feel like that struck a little closer to home than she's willing to let on. Alright, so I've come to the conclusion that we seem to be pretty severely lacking in resources.
Yes.
So it is in my interests to actually go to Denerim. Might sound like a terrible idea, seeing as that is the center of the forces that seek to destroy us. But perhaps we can slip right under their noses with this apostate Kunari and Golem in tow. Who knows? Oh, we seem to have run into another encounter. I think this is a... Oh, what is this now? Adventurers, eh?
Rough travels out here, eh? We even saw Darkspawn on the way in.
Darkspawn, you don't say.
Right, Darkspawn. We killed a whole band of them on the way up from Lothering. We're delivering a message to the Chantry in Denerim. You?
What's the message about?
We saw a blood mage down near the Brazilian forest. We're off to tell the Chantry about him.
I'm here to stop you.
I thought you said... Wait, you're serious?
Absolutely. Turn around and just go home.
Hey, no need to get pushy. We were just in it for the experience.
Well, I'm assuming that was part of the Mages Collective quest. Alright, so, well, that was simple. Managed to get rid of them right quick. Thankfully, no bloodshed involved, so no one is really at a loss here. Alright. I'll take it. Could have turned out much worse. Well, I figure, while we're here, I'm gonna have Morgan make a few of these lesser poultices. Right, that's enough for now. But hopefully in Denerim we can actually find a recipe to make regular healing poultices, something that can get us a bit further. Alright, well, I hardly think we could be any more conspicuous, but let's give this a try at any rate. Man, it sure does lag here.
I
Sarah.
understand the Swamp Witch is out to slay its own mother.
Entirely in self-defense?
So it claims. It could not have been its plan from the very beginning, then.
I knew nothing about my mother's intentions prior to finding the book. 'Twas your notion I arranged that.
Unnecessary, considering it is the only one who can read the book. It could just as well be a journal or a book of recipes.
Would you like me to teach you how to read the book? Then you can see for yourself.
Now it is testing me.
Well, do you care enough to learn or no?
No, I do not care.
Then leave me be.
Yeah, what she said. Are you somebody I'm familiar with?
Good day.
No, apparently not. Screw you, then. So here's a chantry over here. Templars, eh?
All men are the work of our Maker's hands, from the lowest slaves to the highest kings. Those who bring ham without provocation to the least of his children are breaded and accursed by the Maker.
Those who bring ham? And the Maker does not bread sinners.
Oh, would you stop correcting me? I know the chant like the back of my hand.
You senile little
The
woman.
one who repents, who has faith unshaken by the darkness of the world, and roasts not, nor gloats over the misfortunes of the weak, but takes delight in the Maker's law and creations.
Boasts. It's boasts, sister, not roasts.
She shall know the peace of the Maker's benediction. The light shall lead her safely through the paths of this world and into the next.
Peace, sister, peace. She shall know the peace of the Maker's benediction.
The veil holds no uncertainty for her, and she will know no fear of death, for the Maker shall be her bacon and her shield, her foundation and her...
There's no veal in the chant. You're doing this on purpose, aren't you?
I liked her version of the chant better.
Oh, hello, dear.
Although it made me a little hungry.
What she means is, in Andraste's name, be welcome.
Stop correcting me. What would Andraste do? That's what you should be concerned with, I say. Andraste was no fuss budget.
Can you tell me about the chant?
Tell you about the chant? What? As if it's a cake you might buy? Well, it's done enough, but a little too much nutmeg for my taste.
Sister, instructing the ignorant is a sacred duty of the chantry.
Fine, then. What do you want to know?
What was that verse you were reciting just now?
It's the 10th stanza from the Transfigurations. Lovely canticle, that one. Oh, you should have heard Brother Caedmon sing it, though.
He sang it well, I take it.
He had a voice like a bucket full of toads. Revered Mother Boanne, bless her heart, always said, if we had more voices like his, the Maker couldn't fail to take note of us.
What does the chant say about Darkspawn?
Oh, there are some very stirring canticles about doom and wrath.
Darkspawn were created by mankind's second sin, pride. Arrogance became a great caged beast in the lands of Tevinter, an emptiness that consumed all and could never be filled. To satisfy its hunger, the Mage Lords assaulted the Golden City, heart of all creation, to take the Maker's power for themselves.
Why does no one ever sing the good stanzas during chantry services anymore? They speak them. It's called the chant of light, not the speech of light.
Sister, would you kindly stop messing up the chant?
See how you like being interrupted.
Well, you get the general idea, I'm sure.
I'm sure I do. Never mind.
It is almost mealtime, isn't it?
Blessings of the Maker and of Andraste, his bride, upon you.
Andraste is the Maker's bride, you say? Now that's something I actually did not know. Every once in a while I do like to pick up on the dialogues in regards to the Darkspawn, just kind of learn a little bit more about how they're interpreted. Anyway, this would be the Chanter's board. Ooh, there's a lot of work to be done here. Any information on these lowlives? Eliminate the criminals preying on innocent folk in Denerim's back alleys. Find Rexel. Find Fazil's sextant. Loghain's push. I don't want to serve Loghain. Whatever, we'll see what comes of that. Imminent tragedy, eh? Take a look at that as well. That's just the problem with this game, is like a lot of these, there's so many side quests that are so small, it's easy to pick them up and then encounter them without even remembering ever accepting the quest. Which unfortunately is something that keeps happening to me. But hopefully we'll be able to pay a little bit more attention. As far as I know, these guys are just making sure no one actually gets inside the chantry for some reason.
In the name of Andraste, Bride of the Maker, be welcome in this house. While the cathedral is closed, if you need to make wedding or funeral arrangements, you'll have to talk to Sister Oma.
Did someone die? I remember a funeral.
King Kalen died, remember? Along with most of the army at Ostagar? Maker guide them all.
Why is the cathedral closed?
That which you fear, living in the shadow of death alone, I have seen it is only a cloud passing before the sun.
The death toll at Ostagar was staggering. We've had a funeral every day for a lost son or daughter of Denerim, and we've many more yet to hold.
What's wrong with your friend?
Are they singing the chant now? It's a funeral, isn't it?
He should have retired to Valroyo years ago, but he wanted to stay and serve the remainder of his days in his homeland. It's the lyrium that does this.
Lyrium did this to him? Why doesn't he stop taking it?
He wouldn't be a Templar anymore.
Blessed are they who stand before the corrupt and the wicked, and do not falter.
He doesn't forget who he is, even if he can't remember anything else.
I'll come back later then.
May the light of the Maker guide your steps.
Well, so it seems lyrium is not a substance to be trifled with then, is it? Drives many men to senility, I believe the word is. So let's see what we got going on around here. Who are you, good sir?
Turn your attention elsewhere. My business does not concern you.
Of course.
Thank you and farewell.
I guess you don't matter at all, do you? I know there's an...
Dwarven crafts. Fine dwarven crafts.
Shut your mouth, Steve Blum.
I recognize you. From Ostagar. Andraste's blood. You're a Grey Warden. Duncan's apprentice. You killed my friend. And good King Kalen. I demand satisfaction, sir.
Satisfaction? Logate's charges against me are... against the wardens are false.
So you would compound slander on top of treason? You dare smear Terran Logain's word?
Use your wits. The wardens would never help the Darkspawn.
I do not like your tone, sir. But you may be right. I may regret this, but I cannot duel someone who may be guiltless. Leave, Warden. If I find proof, we will meet again.
And off he goes. So the first time I ever played this game, I actually did duel with that guy. Because I was playing as a warrior, so I did not have a character who was remotely talented in any kind of persuasive abilities. So I had to fight him, and I tried to be as honorable about it as possible. But it ended up being kind of hilariously, like, out of character. Because, like I said, I was trying to be really honorable with him, to the point that, like, he almost regretted dueling with me, but out of principle he still had to do it. So we go and fight, and then just the kill animation when I finally beat him resulted in me cutting his head off. So, can you just shut up? So it was, it was just very amusing that, in spite of my attempts at integrity, I ended up pretty much dehumanizing him and just disgracing him in the worst way possible, and completely unintentionally.
Crafts. Welcome, welcome. We sell only the strongest dwarven steel, folded over 100 times in the forges of Orzammar.
What does that even mean?
Times like this, surely your group could use some extra protection on the road.
Now, this guy is interesting. His name is Denerim. He is actually very important. He is like your, almost a squire of sorts, if you play as the Dwarven Noble origin. And I've never actually gotten this far as the Dwarven Noble in order to really see how he reacts to you once he meets you a second time, but outside of that, he really only acts as a merchant.
Every piece comes with a stamp of it.
Don't care. So he's got weapons and armor substantially better than most of what you can find these days, especially in Bodon Fedic's arsenal. But nothing that's really of a huge consequence to us. I'm going to try and find... I think Wonders of Thedas. That might be...
The only wonder of Thedas is how everything got to be so very brown.
Okay. Your input is noted. I think this might be the shop where we can actually buy magical and alchemical supplies. What is going on here? Okay. Chef the apprentice. Alright, well, you would be the master then.
Welcome to the Wonders of Thedas. We carry items crafted by the Circle, as well as a variety of antiquities. Is there anything you would like to see?
Do you have recipes? Ancient map. Maps, as far as I know, are a gift you can give to a particular character that you can only get later in the game. I've got to find somebody who can sell me...
Yes, make it quick.
I have a note here from your master.
Strange. Let's see this. I knew it. I gave that man the best 7 weeks of my life. Well, I guess he won't have me to push around anymore. Ha!
So, that's one of the quests I actually do remember. He is one of the apprentices who was being laid off by his master. So I don't know where I can find a recipe for better healing poultices. I'm probably going to have to look that up unless a good friend knows where I might be able to pick one up and lets me know. Mysterious dough. Ooh, this might be the door that we dropped this box off at. Knock, knock. Here is the box. Well, there's a laughing child inside, so we made someone's day, apparently. Must have been a birthday gift delivery. Sure, I think that's what it was. Alright, anyone else we can talk to here? There's a tavern here. Oh, we can get some jobs in there. I'm not entirely sure. Brother Genitivi, I feel like that's a name that is also important to us. Waylon.
Yes? What are you doing here?
I'm sorry, I must be in the wrong house.
Ah, I see. Then I'm sure you will be on your way presently.
Out of curiosity, who are you?
My name is Waylon. I'm the assistant of the scholar Brother Genitivi. This is his house.
Who is Brother Genitivi? Brother, I mean.
He's an eminent scholar and researcher who serves the Great Chantry. When you first came in, I was hoping that you had news of Brother Genitivi. Wishful thinking, it seems.
News? What news are you waiting for?
I haven't seen Brother Genitivi in weeks. He sent no word. It's so unlike him. Genitivi was on the trail of the Urn of Sacred Ashes. I fear he has gotten too close to the truth.
Do you think he's in trouble because of the urn?
Perhaps the urn has been lost for a reason. I pray for Genitivi's safety, but hope dwindles with each passing day. I tried to send help, but some knights came from Redcliffe looking for him not long ago. I sent them after Genitivi, and they too have disappeared.
How do you know they've disappeared?
Well, they haven't returned, and they sent no word either.
Maybe they took Genitivi back to Redcliffe.
I suppose that's possible. I don't know. After what happened to Genetivi, can you blame me for thinking the same thing could happen to the Knights? Perhaps I am just a pessimist. I hope I am wrong.
So where did they go?
Now, don't ask me where they went. You'll go after them. And what if ill luck should befall you too? This search is a curse on all of us. Some things are not meant to be found. I know that now.
I'm willing to risk it. Just tell me where he went.
So be it. All he said before he left was that he would be staying at an inn near Lake Kalinhard, investigating something in that area.
What exactly was he investigating?
I don't know. All I discovered from going through his research was that he was staying at the inn.
Well, you just said that he spoke to you and told you that.
Yes, of course he told me, but I also went through his things to see if I could find other clues to his whereabouts.
You sound nervous. Hiding something?
That's not true. I told you everything I know. Brother Genetivi told me about the inn, and that's all.
Who's us?
Us? I mean me. There is no us. Bah! Why do I keep up this charade? I gave you a chance to turn aside and forget you ever heard of Genetivi and the urn, but you persisted.
Indeed I did.
Now it has come to this. Andraste, forgive me, I do this in your name.
Shut up, you damn fanatic. It is time for you to die.
You forced me into this.
I didn't force you to do shit, and I'm glad I stopped you from doing chain lightning.
You paid.
What can you do? You've got a lot of abilities. Stoneheart, defensive talents, pulverizing blows, and sustained. Oh wow, you actually have like honest-to-God warrior abilities. Stone aura. Oh. How interesting. Well, he went down pretty quick, so no real need for any kind of tactical sense there. I wonder what his deal was, though. He seemed very intent on preserving the mystery of Brother Genetivi. And all he's got is topaz on him, so he's got nothing to really provide us any answers.
Let's get started.
It seems like he's kind of ransacked this place, though. I don't feel like he was actually, What?
As you wish.
Oh, you dirt dog.
On it.
Well, hello there. Uh-huh. Urn of Sacred Ashes. Brother Genetivi's research suggests that the village of Haven in the mountains to the west might have some clues as to the location of the urn. Brother Genetivi must have gone to Haven to continue his search. Well, that's certainly a place we should go next. Or, you know, sometime soon. I don't know if there's any particular benefit going to find the Urn of Sacred Ashes before we even meet Arl Eben of Redcliffe, since he's the one we really need to retrieve it for. Hard to really say. Now, this is interesting here. Can we go through this?
By order of the new Earl of Denerim, no one is to enter the alienage.
So what happened to Arl Urian, anyhow?
There's been an elven uprising. Knifeears even have the gall to attack the Earl's only son. Killed him in cold blood.
You don't say.
With the whole Urian family dead, the regent appointed Rendon Howe of Amaranthine the new Earl of Denerim. First thing he did was lead a purge of the alienage. It's a mess in there. When things are put back in order, the gates will be reopened. Now on your way.
A purge? Hold up now, let me talk to you.
The alienage is closed. Be on your way.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Means everyone I left behind there is probably dead now. Rendon Howe, he's the bastard who betrayed the human noble origin. Who are you?
You here to report another crime? I swear we should just cordon off the entire district. Oh, can I help you, Warden?
How do you know who I am?
Your likeness was passed around to the senior guardsmen at the palace. I must say, the sketch didn't do you much justice.
Oh, you are a
Don't
flatterer,
worry,
aren't you?
Even if I believed the official story of what happened at Ostagar, I'm no fool. If I asked my men to apprehend you, they'd all run and cry big sobby tears in their courtesans' bosoms and leave me all alone to be skewered. Don't disturb the peace in the market, and that's well enough for me.
Is the market district really that bad?
The lower market isn't deemed important by the captain of the guard, even less with Arl Howe in charge. So when I finally get the new men I request, I get the delightful surprise of discovering their Lord Such-and-Such's illegitimate, untrained, moronic whelps. But lords keep sending me more of them. It's decent pay, no expectations, a uniform. So I have a legion of bastards to protect the market from pickpockets, stabbings, and whatnot. And Arl Howe's specially picked men are the worst of the lot.
Oh damn, what the hell do we pay taxes for? How are they any worse?
With the bastards, I just have to worry about dicing, the odd bit of drool, or yelling at them too loudly and hurting their poor feelings, and then getting chewed out by their noble fathers. But I swear, the Arl's men are more criminal than the miscreants we occasionally arrest. Some of them are the criminals we have to arrest. So if your lifeblood isn't draining in the gutters as we speak, don't bother reporting it.
You need any help?
What? You're serious?
Oh, yeah?
I mean, yes, I could use help. I've got a pretty popular establishment that's crawling with mercenaries. If I send my boys in, someone might get, maker forbid, hurt, and I'll have to explain to their noble fathers that being a guard is actually dangerous.
What's the pay?
Do a good job and I'll see you get some silver in your pockets, maybe even some gold.
What do you need me to do?
The name of the whorehouse is the Pearl. Beat down any mercenaries that are out of line and send them a message. I said beat down, not kill. Let me make that really clear. Not on fire, or exploded, or make a nose, whatever type of grisly death you can dream up. Sorry. Used to giving orders to my boys. Just leave them breathing and I'll be happy.
Oh, I'll probably be setting them on fire as well as freezing them and poisoning them and whatever, but it stands to them to make sure that they're still on their feet by the end of the scuffle. Anyway, sign me up, Sergeant.
Thank you, Warden. Happy hunting.
Alright, so there's yet another job for us. I believe there's a Mages Collective post right around the corner here. Yeah, here he is. So we can get more jobs from him, but I'm going to... Before I even do that...
Take this. You've earned it.
Might as well turn in this... Wow! That's not bad at all. Ah, so the Scrolls of Benestor are a thing that we actually need to do. So accept that. Have you seen Great Mage Reynold? I can't say that I have. Wish to ensure that those targeted by the Templars are fairly warned and evacuated before the Chantry can send its message. Alright, so I guess we'll deliver messages.
Good to see you again.
Alright, that'll do it for now. Not a whole lot happened in this episode, but next episode should hopefully be a bit more interesting. We'll try and carry about a bit more, but truth be told, once you reach Denerim, a lot of dialogue is in order, so that's just kind of something we'll have to get used to, but it's already been at least 45 minutes. Can't really carry on this episode any longer. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time.